So, a little bit about myself quickly. So, I'm Google Developer Expert for Google Assistant, leading Google Developer Group in London, Women Tech Maker Lead Ambassador. I'm speaker, international speaker. Last year I did 40 talks, and then I'm a 9-year Google I/O attendee. So today I'll be sharing my experience, particularly from this year Google I/O. And we have right now, I think, 3 years where Google Assistant was existing, since 3 years, but lots of things have changed. And I think this year was by far the best and the biggest, where 75% of the conference was dedicated to Assistant. So first of all, updates for users. So we have 2 parts. So first update was the duplex on the web. So everybody probably remembers that last year we had duplex where you could place automatic call in order to do booking on the restaurant. So Google decided to do another very narrow use case for that, actually 2 use cases, and they decided to bring what was on the phone and actually on the web. So now you can do 2 more things. You can book your movie tickets through the duplex, and then you can also do rental car booking, and that is just amazing because all of us know that so many people are just dropping from the form because they just, it requires so much information, the travel dates for your car rental, then you need to know, location and what car you prefer. But that duplex feature, it actually does everything yourself. They even analyze your Gmail previous bookings with different car rentals, and they see, for example, that you prefer, German cars over, let's say, Japanese cars. So they take all the information from your Google Calendar, from Google Maps, and from Gmail, automatically collect it, analyze, and do the booking completely, by itself. So you don't even need to do anything. Obviously, you can always, kind of interrupt the process and then, maybe cancel. Maybe this time you actually want a bigger car because you have a new baby, etc. But this is an amazing feature that has, I think, big future. Second, so there is such thing like next generation assistant. It's coming from the so Google Assistant is built on a very complex algorithm with lots of machine learning models. So there are different one of them which are mapping incoming sound bites onto phonetic units. Then these phonetic units are being assembled into words, and then words are being connected, and then you have the probability why would this word be in the sentence, etc., etc. And that all need a lot of storage. So usually 100 gigabytes of memory, of storage, sorry. But this year they made a really big achievement, a big milestone, because they achieved 0.5 gigabytes. So that is something you can put on the phone. And this is probably, if you watch some demos because that was, I think, on all blogs, that demo where a woman was showcasing how fast is the Google Assistant, where she was saying, turn on the flashlight, and then open Gmail, and then, book me a writer's lift, and then do something else, set a timer. That was the demo, which they call Next Generation Assistant. I just wanted to remember the title because this is the big deal, and they'll continue pushing in this direction more and more. Next, it's called personalized help. So in personalized help, there are 2 different things, but they're kind of a little bit similar. So first is called Picks for You, and that is based on your activity. So imagine if you are regularly using some cooking application, some recipe app, then you might say like some recipe, and then you might, maybe pick some recipe, dislike it, upvote, downvote, etc. So based on that, they will show you personalized things, and they will show here, for example, that we show you this bourbon chicken because previous time you opened a barbecue recipe, and this is also barbecue recipe. So they will analyze your behavior, and then based on that show you results. Now there is a next one which is called personal reference. It's also personalization, but it's not based on your activity. It's based on the things you put in your assistant settings U tab. So you can put here that, for example, I don't know, you have, that your mom's home is this address. So when every time you say mom's home, you actually mean something particular. You can put your events, upcoming anniversary. So when you say, I want to book, order flowers for my wife for our anniversary, then Assistant will understand. So that's the only difference where it's not about behavior, like Picks for You, but it's about what you will put on Assistant U tab. And then this is completely customizable. So you can anytime, edit the tab, you can edit information, delete information. So you are definitely in control of whatever you're putting there. And next, there is a driving mode thing. So this is also something really, really cool for those of you who are driving. So it has a really nice personalized dashboard. So what happens here, if you have in your calendar event, let's say Chatbot Meetup, it would show up in your this dashboard, and it will let you give you like a shortcut as a driving direction. Another one is a podcast shortcut. So if you listened for a podcast, let's say on Google Home at home, and then you stopped at some point, it would give you a possibility to continue where you stopped through the shortcut in the driving mode. So that's pretty much it, but I'm actually going very, very quickly because there are so many things which I want to cover. But I hope, if you have any questions about any feature, you can just ask me at the end. Next is the Next Hub Max. This is the last announcement for users. And this is something that they also put lots of attention into. So they say that they are building now not just a smart home, but a helpful home. So they try to make it much, much smarter, but also helpful. They actually rebranded all Google Home stuff into Nest. So what was Google Home Hub is now Nest Hub. So they also launched new product, which is Next Hub Max, which would be Google Home Hub Max probably, but it's not. And the Nest is umbrella brand, which covers all the Nest products like security camera and those kind of thermostats, but also all the Google Home Mini and Google Home and Hub and those kind of things. So they cover everything with this Nest brand. And then the new one is 7-inch, so it's bigger. The old one I think was like 7-inch, the regular one, but the max one is 10, so it's much bigger. And they have like really, really cool stuff here. You can do video calls and everything. But I want to focus on one thing because again, camera. Camera is amazing. I mean, those of you will probably be like, oh no, I'm not putting camera in my bedroom. But the camera is really smart. If you're familiar with Portal from Facebook, this is what it does. It has the frame centering, so as you move around the room, it would always keep focusing on you, so you don't really need to turn your home hub as you move. It has motion detection, which is also really, really cool. So if I just say like that, I basically just move my hand like that, it will stop the sound, so I can pick up my phone and talk to somebody. And also it can you can use it as a security camera if you want to detect motion when you are not home. Then it has a face match. So if I'm in front of this device, it would show my events, my upcoming trips, my stuff, my music, my recommendations for recipes. But if my husband is, for example, in front of the device, it would show everything belonging to him. So this is again a new feature because there is now camera. And then the last one, for those of you who don't like cameras, there is a physical switch which electrically, right? Yeah, it actually turns off the camera and the microphone, so it completely secure, and you can put it wherever you want, the most intimate place of your room, of your house. And the second part is the updates for content creators and developers. So here we have number one is how to markup. So if you are a content creator and you have something like, let's say, how to website, how to create, how to do something. Usually your website would look, have some really boring description in the Google search. But here, as you can see, you have very visual 3 steps. And then if you open it, it will automatically turn it into kind of a little bit fake.
The connection on the bottom of the microphone. Yeah, I think that's it.
Can you hear me? Oh, you are recording, right? That's why I have to talk here. Okay, it's all right. But basically, you can see that on the smart display, it will look really, really cool. It will actually have steps and look just like an app, like an action. So, and all you do is using this markup. I won't stop on that, but if you are curious about how to turn your website into this is what they announced for any how-to things. Now, if you are also doing how-to, but you have a YouTube channel, there is a template. So all you do, you take your YouTube video, you put here your timing, what is happening, what the steps are in spreadsheet, and then you just upload it to the actions on Google console, and that's it. You've got an action which looks just like a real action, but it's you didn't really develop it, you didn't really write any code in Dialogflow using JavaScript, and it looks really, really beautiful. Now, any Android developers here? Awesome! Yeah, so basically this app action, this is something that where you can actually connect your Android application with your action on Google. Where, for example, I can say, start a run with Nike app, and then I don't need to go to Nike app, open it, press the button, start the run, start it now, etc., etc. Lots of clicks. But here, just with voice, I can launch it. Again, really, really quickly, what you do, you map basically particular part of your Android application to Assistant using built-in intent. In this case, they have 4 intents: health and fitness, finance, ride sharing, food ordering. So, for example, for the health and fitness, intent is called start exercise. So you match them in the manifest file, and then it just does it all automatically. I think this is the most exciting thing, and I actually talk already to organizers that I really want to come back and give a little bit more technical talk how it's actually done if you have an interest to actually develop it, later, maybe around August, September, once it's out of developer preview, hopefully. But this is interactive canvas, and this is amazing. So before that, if you're not familiar with smart displays, you had really, really limited opportunities to customize it. You had that background image, and you had some image on the right top side of the screen. So as a brand, you really didn't have much space to put your images, to put your, you didn't have a chance to put animations or anything else. But here, as you can see, I'm not talking much, but you just see it yourself. It's a full, size. You're using the whole screen, and you can do whatever you want using familiar technology: HTML, CSS, JavaScript. That's it. And again, if you want to learn more, we can organize something. If you are interested, by the way, just contact the organizer of the meetup so that we don't do something that nobody wants to know. Next, sandbox demos. So very, very quickly, sandbox demos. It's the place where they showcase the latest thing they announced during keynote and talks, so you can actually go there and try it yourself. So a little bit, so there were like just generic Google Assistant and conversational design, where you could ask any questions about, how to create persona, what mistakes have in my persona. Then we had how-to guides. Just what I told you, you can convert your YouTube or website into a tutorial step by step. So you could try it yourself and see how amazing it looks, just like a real action. Then we had app action. Again, same, you could test how the connection between Android app and the actual voice assistant works. Then we had interactive canvas, and they developed the app called Jungle Dream, so you could play it and see yourself that it's an amazing, it's actually HQ University also using interactive canvas. But definitely give it a try. As a brand, I think if you have professional designers, if you have professional, product managers, this is, a must for you to explore right now. Unfortunately, I have to warn you, you can't really publish the apps right now until it's out of developer preview, but you can already start working on that because it will take still quite, a few months until it's done. Smart home. As you can see, my daughter is super excited about smart home. Smart bulbs. There was also this smart cookie jar where it could open and you can take a pin and take it home. But they showcase lots of stuff like smart blinds, smart microwave, and those kind of things, which you can put in your smart home and control using Google Assistant. And then 2 last things in Sandbox which I really liked. It was Engava. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I'm sorry if anybody here is from Japan. But this is the project where they collaborated with older people, older adults in Japan, and they asked them, how can we bring technology closer to you? And because you are still different, but we want to avoid ageism, we want to make this technology accessible and interesting to you. And older adults gave them just a few ideas. I won't go through all of them, but just 3 quick ideas. Read out newspaper out loud. Second, give me 3 about years where I was young, back bring back memories. And number 3, one guy asked, I want to fly a kite in the park, but I don't know which weather fits one of my kites because he has a huge collection of kites. So this is, I know it's a funny maybe example, but they try to make it, interesting and just fun for older adults. And the last one is My Story Time. So in the US, there are 23,000 active duty military families, and there are also lots of parents who are working night shift and just travel a lot. And this is the app where you can read a record story for your child, and then it will be instantly available for a child across the world, no matter where you are. And this is really amazing because it's, using your voice. And it started with one family, and Dad Oliver, but now it's available online if you want to check it. The address is here. But the idea thing is really, really cool. And the code labs, there was such place where you could do code labs. So if you want to check them out, the URL is here, but basically you could just drop by and say, I want to learn about Google Assistant, sit there, hug, and then they would, help you if you have any questions. And why I'm putting it here, because I know if you're familiar with these 3 code labs. If not, definitely check them out. This is to develop stuff. But they actually announced new code lab here, how to engage with users, because it's okay to develop app, but lots of companies actually right now curious how to keep them engaged. And this is a really, really important code lab, which is actually teaching you how to keep them engaged and how to keep them excited about your application or action, yeah. And that's pretty much it. I hope I didn't go too much over time, but if you have any questions, you can ask them either here or right now, right? All good?
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was I know I load very, very quickly, but if you have any questions about any feature of Google Assistant, just let me know, and I could clarify me some points. And by the way, I know if you noticed that in red I would always put when it's available. There's lots of features that are coming later this summer or later this year. So if you will not find any of them available right away, it's not because it doesn't exist. It's coming definitely. So stay tuned. Any questions?
Questions?
Yeah.
Hi, thank you for the talk.
Thank
Is
you.
face match based on the AR core?
It's based, so it's based on, so they basically train the model on your face, literally.
Yeah.
So, and then, so the way it works, you have, when you pass by, you will have to say, it's me, and then next time if you, if you woke up and you don't look like your regular one, maybe you after jet lag or something like that, then you have to again say, it's me, it's still me. So after some time, it's actually a very quick process, but once you train the model for your family members, that's it. But it's actually a really quick process, it's not really that tedious. But yeah, there might be a situation where they will not recognize you straight away, but you can just easily say, it's still me.
Right, so I wasn't asking about the...
oh yeah, sorry.
It was more the technology underneath.
Oh,
So,
that they didn't
no.
disclose it, no, because
right,
the
okay.
device is not yet, they didn't even show device unfortunately, so neither technology nor device are not yet available, they weren't even available at Google I/O.
Right.
Yeah, unfortunately, but yeah, I mean they give some only background information about features, because that is something that developers need to use, to develop stuff, but face match is it's a feature of the device, that's why they didn't give any. But if you're really, really interested, I just maybe you can just ping me, and I will try, to do to see what I can do for you. Yeah.
Anyone else? Any questions? No?
Definitely.
I'll ask one.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry. Oh yeah.
Well, so I guess most people here are developers, or working would want to work with Google Assistant. Who do you think is doing it really well at the moment, and what do you think that they're doing well that we could look at their actions or their app actions and say as some things to replicate?
Yeah, I mean, I think that in the UK, I think it's really, really good. I mean, the leaders are, BBC has really nice voice apps, and with the, what is it, CBCs? I'm not really sure, because my daughter is CBS, exactly, because my daughter is too small for that. I really like also Busu and Trainline, but there are lots of, and abroad, of course, it's Uber. They do amazing job, so if you want to check them out and how they do that. And Dunkin' Donuts started catching up, and I think Domino's Pizza was always the leader abroad, but I think they are not, I'm not so sure if they're in the UK that active in this, I think they're developing it in the US. But yeah.
So at the start of your presentation, you talked about the ability for Google Assistant to not just do hair appointments, but now do things like cinemas as well. So you said the business doesn't actually have to do anything.
Absolutely.
The Assistant finding information. As a business, is there anything I can do to make it easier for Google Assistant to find my information and therefore list me? Because you're probably not going to get 10 search results, you're going to get 1 or 2 when you ask for cinema booking, for example.
Exactly. So you're talking about duplex, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So that is, you don't really let your user, you actually let your user pick. So the way it does is you say, book my cinema ticket with, let's say, Odeon. So actually, but there is another thing. So when you actually do it with Google Assistant, which is kind of a little bit a different thing, then you are competing with other things. Then when I say with Google Assistant, I can tell you what you can do. When you say book me a ride, then you're competing with Uber, with Lyft, and then if you are their competitor, you have to do 2 things. You have to make sure that health of your app is perfect, which means that whatever user is talking to your app, it's always responding. So your backend is, super 100% available. The second thing you can do if you are trying to compete for that place, that they call it implicit invocation. It's actually really interesting topic, I think, for lots of businesses, how to get there. We got like lots of things, and I could talk like for 2 hours, but just I will tell you 2 things. And the second thing is that you try to make sure that as many people who, so the basic principle is like that. If 100% of people whom your app was suggested picked it, it will keep suggesting it. But if they suggested it once, suggested 2 times, your chance will drop if nobody will ever, say, oh yeah, I actually want that one. So if they will suggest Uber, Lyft, and they X, and they will always keep asking for Uber or Lyft, but they will never keep asking for you, at some point Google will stop suggesting you and start suggesting somebody else. But I know it's a tricky situation. There are ways to avoid that and put yourself up. But unfortunately, I don't think we have time to cover that. But that's a really, really good point, and it's basically called how to improve engagement and discoverability of your action. And this is a big deal, definitely. Sorry. You had a question in the, and then you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask, when you have facial recognition and you take it, for example, in your bedroom, as you said. How can you ensure that the user is safe and the data doesn't end up where it doesn't belong, right? Because I think that's a big fear of many customers.
Absolutely. So with this new feature, which is the next, the what they call it, the future, the best assistant. Now they try to do it all on device, and that is amazing. Not only because of the safety, but also because usually right now you need to have network available, but there is network latency, obvious, and then it all decreases speed of the communication. But with that, it all happening because we decrease the number, the storage that machine learning models are requiring. Now it's 0.5 GB, so they put it right on the device. And it's all happening on device, so you can be sure that whatever they're doing, it's actually happening on device. They actually announced that, but I just didn't mention because it's just too many things. But definitely, and if you have some particular private moments, you can always turn off the button which is right on the back of the device, and then it will show you that the microphone is muted and the camera is muted. That's for particularly kind of cautious people. Yes. Yeah, please.
Oh yeah, just a quick question.
Sure.
Do you know how many actions are there currently available developed by third-party developers?
No, so the official number, the last one they released, it was a long time ago. It was around October, I think. So you can just do a guesstimation, but it was more than 1 million actions available already from third party, not from Google. That's why when people tell me oh, is it too early to develop Google Assistant? I kind of tell people it's kind of too late. Well, it's not really, but it's definitely not too early, and you are definitely not an early adopter if you develop something for Google Assistant, because 1 million actions there, it's a lot, definitely.
That can't be a million custom actions. That must
Yeah,
be using templates and stuff, right?
Yeah, obviously, yeah. So you can't really separate it. You can't really see that but yes, lots of people play around with templates, which is just to clarify, it's you just kind of create an action in a spreadsheet and then you just upload it. It's a two-minute thing. I actually teach kids in London here how to code their own actions using spreadsheet, because when you are 11, you can't really write a JavaScript code. So I mean, maybe you can, but it would take so much time. But they really want to see a result. And that is a really amazing way. So if you want to teach your child, or your friend or your niece, etc., how to code a Google Assistant action, this is an amazing way to use template, because it's a really 2-minute thing. It's a question, answer, done.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.